Hello there boys and girls, let's see what are we doing today. Well, as you can see, it's Dayz and we're on Chernobyl. Now, first things first, let's get this bit out of the way. I've been having some problems. My headset, you might hear that I sound a wee bit muffled. It's because I'm having to use a different headset, not my normal headset. And also, for the first time, because I recorded this, muttering away, rambling on as I normally do, played it back, discovered all that I'd said was lost, it was gone, it wasn't there, and that really ticked me off. So this is the first time I'm attempting to narrate afterwards. This is rather strange. I'm using the editor, watching the playback and just chatting. So I don't know if this is going to work. This might be something I'm going to do more of in the future. It's all completely unplanned. There's no script or anything. Me, script? You've got to be joking. It wouldn't be playing with rambling if I had a script to go with this. So, what are we doing? Well, as I say, we're having a little look at regular Dayz on the Chernobyl map, because myself and Pip and Gaddo have been spending the last few weeks playing some of the other variants of Dayz. People have made versions of Dayz running on some of the other maps. First we had a look at the Takistan, and then we had a look at Lingor. And it was strange. It wasn't just the fact it was a new map and a new terrain. They felt very, very different. First off, the Takistan map, because obviously it's the deserts of Takistan, which is imaginary for Afghanistan. And one of the features of that map of Operation Arrowhead was that nearly all of the buildings are enterable. The other thing that the guys who made that particular mod did was they put a heck of a lot of zombies in. There were so many zombies. Really did change the way the game had to be played. You spent a lot more time in one village because you had to go in and through every building and deal with the zombies. Then we had a look at the Lingor one. Now the Lingor map is a map that's been around for quite a while. It uses assets from various different versions of the game, and this whole business of being able to go inside buildings is a relatively new one. So yeah, we're going to see what it's like. Personally, I think I prefer the original. I mean, it would be nice if more of the buildings had loot in or around them in Chernobyl, but in Takistan you could spend half an hour in one small village, slowly clearing through. Seriously, as soon as you found a village, finding a village was tricky, but once you found a village, you were completely equipped and set within 5-10 minutes, because there was so much loot to be had. And we're sort of used to, with Chernobyl, the loot being a little bit further away from each other. So there you go. Lingor, Pip and Gaddo really love Lingor. I found it a little annoying, and I didn't particularly like the map. I didn't like the number of zombies that were around. Although, to be fair to the guys who did it, they've done a nice job that it actually has unique zombies, where the Takistan one still had the same Northern European or Eastern European zombies, which to me looks and felt more than a little odd. They should have used the guys with the with the turbans and the women in the hijabs and such as the zombies. And what am I doing here? I just realised I'm actually supposed to be commentating on what I'm doing rather than just rambling on. What I was talking about when I was originally doing this is the problem that I'm having is that I've got this really cool weapon, but bullets are so hard to find. I'm using a silenced military weapon, and the bullets are so hard to find. At some point I'm going to have to dump it. And I just picked up there the Winchester, which to my mind is the best civilian weapon or main weapon in the game. The best civilian pistol is probably the 1911, although at the moment I think I'm using the pistol. So you see, I've got that military weapon. I've also got night sight. Very important, the night sight. I wouldn't want to play this game without night sight. Well, you don't want to play it at night without night sight anyway. But I've learnt a few things playing these other ones with different numbers of zombies around. I was playing. Oh look, yeah, Dayz. There I found my 1911, which I swapped to, and also pick the revolver rounds back up because they're the same caliber ammunition. You can swap them. It takes a little while to swap each one, but you can basically swap them from being revolver ammunition to being pistol ammunition. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, things that I've learnt from playing those other games. One thing that I've learnt is smoke. Smoke's really important. Never used smoke in on the Generous map. Never felt the need to. Never picked it up. Never felt the need to play with it. But playing on, I think it was the Lingor map. Was it the Lingor one? Anyway, one of the two. There were situations where there were so many zombies. I think it was on the Takistan map, when you were up at the airfield, there were so many zombies that you really did need to distract them and use your to smoke, to chuck some smoke down to distract the zombies. So yep, and as I say, playing through this little bit, I remember this bit, running up through, being chased by a swarm. Now there's about 3 or 4 zombies behind me. If that was the Takistan map, you'd be looking at about 20 zombies, and if it was the Lingor map, you'd be 30 to 40 zombies, especially if it was a military area. So a lot more zombies in those other versions, but there's something about the style or the play that I like and I've become very familiar with on the Chernobyl map. And of course this is the one that's receiving the development. The other ones are mods made by people other than the development team from Dayz. They're taking the map, they're taking the code, and because it's a mod, it's open to be played with, they are changing it. So these mods you see made using other maps, they're not being made by Rocket and the others. What's this one? Just having a look. I'm curious watching myself now. Oh, there's a map. Yeah, pick up a map. Somebody else might need a map. I've got a map, but don't have sat-nav. Do I? No, don't have sat-nav on this one. Must have lost it in an earlier incarnation. Of course, because I haven't played for such a long time, my tents are gone. Which is a little annoying because it's been over 7 days, and if no one goes into a tent in 7 days, it disappears. Well, that's how it's supposed to be. Maybe I'm on the wrong server. Who knows? So the continuous ongoing search for stuff. Made a video recently, don't know how popular it's going to be, I don't know how popular any of my videos are, concerning video settings. And after doing that, I think I messed my video settings up a little bit in this, because I remember it was running a little slower than I would like for frapping. I think it was running somewhere around 30 frames per second, and I like my games to run a little more quickly than that. So yeah, have a look at that. It's a guide to video settings. What happened was that I was on the Armorholic website, and they periodically produce videos, very good training videos about how to do various different bits and bobs. And there was a guy doing a video on video settings, and it wasn't that I felt disappointed by his experience or what he was saying. Here we go. Here I'm going to go through the settings here. It was that I don't know how relevant it was to Dayz players, because the guy was primarily a pilot, so he had his settings set up for pilots, so he had massive view distance, but terrain detail was low, and a few other things were low, which if you're on foot and you're interested in zombies that are within 200 meters of you, you don't want your view distance set out to 1,000 meters, where this guy had his view distance set out that far because he was a pilot. And of course, as a pilot, you don't care if a tree looks like a tree. You just try not to hit the damn thing. You're in a plane and you're flying, so your needs are different. So the way you play the game is different, and the way you set your settings up are different. So I did a video about how to tune the game to best suit your hardware, but from the point of view of someone who is on the ground. I say this every time I go past this bit, but I always check just there, because twice checking there I found a bicycle, and I still maintain that bicycles are one of the best vehicles in this game because they don't take much maintenance. You don't need to fuel them. They don't carry anything, which is a bit of a bugger, but they're nice and quick, and it's fast enough to get away from a zombie. Ooh, more loot. It is very difficult. It's part of the game, I suppose, deciding what loot you actually need, where to go and get it. As I say, I've put a great many hours into Dayz. I put even more hours into the actual full armor game, and yeah, there are a few anomalies, obviously, as we're all aware of. But knowing what loot to pick up, what loot to leave, I suppose experience shows you. When you first start playing the game, you pick up everything, and then you realise your backpack's full and your front pack is full, and you just can't. There's no room for anything. So you guys are going to have to let me know how well this has turned out. This whole idea of me moving my headset. I don't know how loud that's going to be. Me rambling on, but not whilst playing. I must admit, I'm about 3/4 of the way through this, and I'm sort of running out of things to say, which for me is pretty unusual because I normally talk continuously about any type of bullshit. So, here we go. Pop, pop. And there I am loading my last magazine of silent rounds. What's that? That's, oh yeah, that was a shotgun. Now, shotguns, I'd prefer an axe personally. You only get to shoot twice and then you've got to reload, and they are loud, and I mean really loud. You will, every zombie from 200 meters away will come, and it's a bit like the what else is like that? Well, there's several loud weapons in the game, but the shotgun is loud, and also the Lee Enfield is very, very loud, and it's why Pip and I and Gaddo will often refer to them as being dinner bells, because that's what it's like. You know, it's like someone rings the dinner bell and here come all the zombies. Something one should never pass as a source of water, even if you don't think you need to drink. Always drink. Refill your water bottle up. It might be a while before you come across another one. It was quite strange on the Lingor map that quite a few of the water sources didn't appear to work. You would see what was quite clearly a lake, and it would say nope, because it thought it was sea. So maybe not enough work had been put into that. Some of the places were on the Takistan map. There's another shotgun. On the Takistan map, clearly should have been sources of water, but weren't. Although Takistan wasn't too bad for wells, there were quite a few wells. Almost every little compound had a well in it, so that wasn't too much of a problem. But there was one of the features in the Takistan map where it's sort of like it's a little wall with a row of 4 taps, faucets, the Americans refer to them as, and you would expect you should be able to helicopter, you should be able to fill your water bottle from there. But no, it wasn't recognised within the game as being a water source. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how the Takistan. I mean, in some regards, maybe it would be nicer if a few more of these buildings would come in here. But to be honest, I think the only real improvements we need to Dayz proper on the Chernobyl map is a few more vehicles. That's really it. I'd like a few more vehicles. That would ensure that the game was a little more entertaining for a little bit longer for people to play. Because, I mean, the reason why Gatto and Pip and myself have been off playing on different maps is purely because we're getting a little bored of this. There was some talk about us becoming involved in this business of rescuing people. That sounded quite interesting. You know, someone says I'm injured and I need help, and you'd go off and you'd be a medic, and you'd be that really did sound quite an interesting idea, that one, and I might still investigate the possibility of becoming an accredited medic, because it fits well with my gameplay. As anyone who's watched my videos know, I don't go hunting people. I'll happily kill zombies, but there have been times when I've been face to face with with a bandit and still not killed them. So I think the total number of humans that I've killed, or players I've killed, in the weeks and months I've been playing this game, it could probably be counted on one hand. I did at one point become very frustrated by being shot all the time, so I would shoot first. That probably only lasted about a week, and I think I'm pretty much certain that I'm only personally responsible for the death of about 4, maybe 3 or 4 players since I've been playing this game. So yeah, I mean, this is the way I choose to play. Other people play in different ways. And here we go. Looking at my inventory, making sure I'm sorted. Didn't pick up a great deal while I was in town, didn't consume a lot either, although seemed to have got through at least 1 magazine of SD ammunition, and that stuff is as rare as hen's teeth. But it's full in the knowledge that at some point, not today, maybe tomorrow, I will be dumping the silenced weapon and returning to civilian weapons, which are the Winchester. Would be nice if I could pick up a tent before that, possibly put it in a tent, so that if we come across any SD weapons, or Gatto wants to play with it, because I know he does like his SD weapons, to have a quick look at that. Now, some people have asked us, why do we always go back to the same point? Why are we always in Zelengorsk, and why we despawn at the same point? It is basically so that whenever we're playing together, if I come on to TeamSpeak and Gatto's there and he says, "Oh, you want to play some Dayz?" I said, "Yeah," and we spawn back in the same place. So there's always a certain level of continuity that we don't have to spend the first 20 minutes running, trying to get from one part of the map to another. You know, it helps out if you always go back to the same place. Zelengorsk is a reasonable little town. There's a supermarket, there's a few other bits and bobs. You can pick up most of what you need for your, you know, daily living within Zelengorsk. And although it is, you know, stuck out on one side of the map, it's the map isn't quite as big as you think it is. So, a quick check behind to make sure no one's following you in. Ah, there's a zombie. Now you've got to remember, this is a silenced weapon, so its range is much, much shorter. And you've basically got to wait for your breathing to settle down. Yeah, missed by a mile. Settle your breathing down. Right click to hold your breath. And bang, bang. He's gone. And he's down. So, yeah, weapon handling. You've got to know what you're doing with these ones. It's not just, you know, you're not playing Call of Duty where you just go bang, 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 die, respawn. So if I remember rightly, next thing I do is open my map and have a little look around. So there we are looking at the map. You see where I'm pointing is Zelenogorsk over on the western side, about halfway up the map. And we've got Cherno and down to Bolota, nice places for picking stuff up. Zelenogorsk is pretty good to have a camp because it's relatively easy to find. It's easy to get to, it's quite easy to navigate to. There's this business of the power lines. If you've watched my videos, you'll know I make great use of the power line system within the southern parts of Cherno, because it does help you get around. You don't have to figure out where you are, you just follow the power lines. Because there's a power station in Electro, go figure, it's called Electro, and it provides the power for the country of Chernorus, and one of the substations is just north of Cherno, and one of the substations is in Zelenogorsk. So you just follow the power lines and you'll end up where you need to be. The other thing to realise is that although the map is vast when you compare it to a regular game, you know, Call of Duty might only be the equivalent of 1 or 2 football fields. Battlefield might be 2 kilometres, maybe 3 at the most. Some of the new ones that have just come out are quite large, and this one is about 15 kilometres by 15 kilometres. But the thing you got to remember is quite a lot of that is sea. So you're looking really at about 10 kilometres by about 13 kilometres. That'll give you a rough idea of the actual gameplay area. And you know, you really can cross from one side of the map to another in 20 or 30 minutes. And you know, many other games you just wouldn't run for that long. But this type of thing, when you're going to be playing for maybe 4 or 5 or 6 hours in one hit, you know, you got to wait, and you put the weight on the W key or on the forward arrow key, and you can set your course and sit back and sip on your beer or your coffee or eat a bag of crisps or an apple or whatever it is that you're doing whilst your character runs across the map. You know, this is how it goes. Ooh, it's almost coming to an end. And it did come to an end. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. Hope this works out.